Hi everybody, Tracy Brown. I am really excited to do this video, and I'm really knowing that this video is going to turn into a series of videos, so hang tight for those. So I want to talk about the beginnings of this journey of intuitive eating, and there are some stages in it that maybe or maybe not you've read about. I don't know that they're ever clearly identified in any one book or anything, but I definitely think there are clear stages. And so I want to talk about kind of what those look like and maybe what they feel like, and to know that you're not alone in all that. There's nothing wrong with you, and you're not doing this process wrong. It's more about clarifying and understanding the nuances of everything. So at the beginning, whether you're coming from a disordered eating place or a diet trauma, chronic dieting kind of place, emotional eating, deprivation-driven eating, binge eating kind of place, at the beginning, there's this sense of both potential and also scared to death, meaning, who am I and what am I doing if I'm not doing this constant watching? And when I say watching, even if you think you identify as more binge eating and emotional eating, and there's a lot of checked outness to it, I want to let you know that there's always some watching, meaning you know that you did wrong or you messed up, and so you feel guilty about that. So you're watching that process. So if you're coming from a place of more you would consider disordered eating, whether it's binge eating, anorexia, bulimia, step number one is that you have to be eating enough food to be able to do intuitive eating. I do have a couple of caveats that I do know that I've worked with some people struggling with anorexia who were under eating, but they could recognize those signals. They had attunement to that. And some people they can't tell at all that they're really, really hungry, or they have really negative body signals. When I say negative, meaning like headaches and nausea and really strong fatigue and those kind of things, they recognize that. It's just that they are pretty good at ignoring it. And that's not necessarily a compliment, because we are ignoring our needs for reasons, and that have to be explored. So anyway, so if you're starting out from that perspective, please make sure that you are working towards eating enough to not trigger deprivation-driven eating or binging or continue numbness. Otherwise, intuitive eating will feel like an uphill battle for you. And it's not because the intuitive eating doesn't work. It's that we're not eating enough food to get accurate signals. So if you're somebody who tries to save up their calories for the entire day to get to the end of the day to eat what you want, or you're just trying to get to the end of the day and have food, but you save up for the whole day, that's going to make those signals very difficult to discern clearly. So I want to start with that. We have to be eating enough. So most people come to me, even if they're not binge eating or emotional eating, just being a chronic dieter the rules aren't set up for you to be satisfied or to feel good. The rules are, it doesn't really matter how you feel. It matters that you accomplish the goal, which is having a smaller body, so therefore you earn the right to feel more acceptable. So no, that's why it's a struggle at the beginning. And so as the stages go on, you're going to see more and more that we tend to have one foot in both camps, meaning some moments or some days or some parts of the days or some weeks we feel really good. And then something comes up where we clamp down on our food and constrict around it for whatever reasons. And that's the funnest part for me about this job is, or maybe not a job, but my life in teaching this, is that we restrict and we binge and we watch for a very good reason. It's not because, I just, would like it if I weighed 5 less pounds. We think that's what it's about, but we want that because of what we think we're going to get, not because it's super fun or that 5 pounds even matters. So again, expect at the beginning to have this back and forth, isn't it just easier to feel good about yourself and lose some weight versus weigh more and deal with the feelings that come from that? And I would say this is always a choice, and nobody is forcing you to do this. This is really about embodiment and freedom, and I'm not here to tell you that you have to do this. This is more about freedom from a game that we can never win. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, that you don't get the opportunity to know what it's like to eat what you want from hunger and fullness, to learn how to discern cues, to learn how to even discern how to apply nutrition without obsession and guilt, if we don't break free from a structure that says that, like, you can never be acceptable unless you do what you're told, which is try to be smaller, and that will be the way that you can earn some worthiness and deserve appreciation, or can be competent or successful. And so we're challenging that whole thing with this process. So let's say that you start off with intuitive eating, and I think there's a lot of doubt in those first months of knowing, even like, did I eat enough? Did I get too full? I don't know. And so what I suggest there is really looking back on, what did you just eat? How long did that food last? How satisfied did you feel? Have you been thinking about food since that last meal? And if you think that you ate enough, but yet you're hungry in 2 hours again,